Welcome to Careless Coder. Today we're going mechanical keyboard for the Commodore 64. Except not this one, my black C64C. Motherfucker! So a couple of weeks ago my friend Wolfgang Kierfdorf sent me this PCB. He's sponsored by PCBWay, and all these little components that are already soldered on here. This is for the non-latching shift lock key, so that it will actually latch, which is kind of cool. And I even bothered to put on the little LED, which I probably will never see because I don't have translucent keycaps. And Wolfgang went above and beyond, and I will put a link to his video down here so you can check that out. But usually the switches are mounted on the mechanical keyboard on a cast iron or aluminum, I don't know what metal it is, frame. Wolfgang actually went above and beyond and modeled that frame so it can be 3D printed, and the 3D print is already sturdy enough. And like he says in his video, when the switches are soldered on there and stuck in there, it is really sturdy. So this must have been a really tedious job, and it looks perfect. Now initially I set out to have this printed by PCBWay because this also came from PCBWay. Thank you Wolfgang for the great gift once again. But initially they said we can print it for $8.50 a piece, and then they do the validation and they were like, yeah, it will cost $10.21. And then the issue was the shipping. The cheapest I could get was $17.50. So that is really expensive, adding up like 37 euros easily. So I figured, let's check locally. And literally 2 kilometers down that way, close to where I used to live, a guy has a 3D printing business. And he said, I can print them for $21.47. And well, since I'm living right next door, I just could pick them up. And he even bothered to dig away all the supports for me already. And they look really nice. I especially love the texture that really looks Commodore 64 like, because it was on the bed like this. So yeah, buy locally. And then the switches. I bought the switches that Wolfgang advised me. So those are $17.50 a pop. So around 35.50. There's some components. So yes, close to 60 euros. You can have yourself a nice mechanical keyboard for a Commodore 64. And the cool thing is that you can reuse your original keycaps, which I will do, because the keycaps I wanted to buy from a special store, they were sold out. So yeah, unfortunately. So for now I will just put my own keycaps on, and hence I put that LED already on there, that if I have the translucent keycaps in the future, I can actually see the shift lock. This PCB also looks very cool, by the way. I dig it. Yeah, so once again Wolfgang, thank you very much. And I will put the switches in. So these are the switches, and these switches have these little nubbins on them, plastic nubbins. We'll have to snip those off. Wolfgang goes into depth on his video as well on this. Right, with some nice flush cutters. And basically you just stick them on that plastic shield that holds the switches. Be sure to orient them correctly. So you stick them on there, or you push them through, and basically in the end the PCB comes in and you align it so that it goes through the holes like this, and you just solder them, and that will give it that mechanical strength. So you cannot really change the switches, that's the way the design works. But how often do you have to change switches? If you do, you have to unsolder them all and take the thing off. So let's hope that all the switches work. But this looks perfect. I love this. It's, oh my god. These switches that Wolfgang selected feel so good. And there are these little extension posts that Wolfgang also printed for me that adapts this to the Commodore 64 key. So that is really cool. So I have a lot of snipping and soldering to do. And you'll see me when I'm done. I just don't understand why they put the LED on this side, because you will never ever see it. I thought it was actually on the other side of the PCB, but this is the side we soldered the micro switches. So you never see that light. Hey, but I put it in there. Yeah, this looks really good. Let's keep populating. Yeah, so you really need to be cautious that all these pins come through. And then that's the spacebar. Yeah, that looks perfect. And this one, yeah, it's also aligned. Wow, and you already feel, and it's not even soldered. It's already sturdy. It's cool. It's so awesome. I'm just going to hit some solder on these. So we'll just check them before I solder them. So if there is one not working, it takes a bit more time, but it saves time in the end. Otherwise you have to desolder them all. So I think that's worth doing. Off to the next set of switches. Oh my goodness, this feels so sturdy. Yeah. This feels awesomely sturdy. So this technically already is a working keyboard. And it looks awesome. Look at that. And it feels sturdy. Yeah. Cool. So I guess this design doesn't work with this type of C case. Look, because this clip doesn't fit over it. And this is the original keyboard. It has this weird, massive indentation. Now I wanted to put it in this machine, but apparently that is a no-go. So I will find another. I didn't even know that there were different cases. I just realized, hey, this one doesn't have a screw. It has these steps. But I do love this case, the way that I painted it. Black. So let's try another one. So let's try it in this one. This one should work. That fits nicely. I should find a couple of screws for this one. This also clips in. It doesn't move. Look. So I should find a couple of screws, because this one wedges in these clips here on the side. And this does not. It has that space because it's tapered, so I should get a couple of screws, because otherwise it wobbles around. So it should be like this, and that should work perfectly fine. This is one. Alright. And then where is one here? There is one there. Is it in? It's a bit hard to see here with the camera. I think it is. Alright, something like that. For now that's good enough for testing, because it's all about testing the keyboard now. So let's see. I think we have a shift lock enabled. I don't know what the shift lock is. This one. Oh, this shift lock circuit is always on. That's the control. This should be the Q. Yeah, Q, QWERTY. I think that circuit is not properly working. The shift lock circuit. This is the shift. That is definitely not working. The shift lock mystery is reviewed. I had a look at the PCB. I had the jumpers twisted. It says 1 and 2 for temporary, but it's actually not like so, which usually is how you would jumper things, but it's like so. So you put them vertically. That is something that's a bit weird. I couldn't find it actually on the website of MacBoard either that quickly. But I was just like, let me look at the schematic, and there we go. So now it works. Cool. Yeah. So this keyboard is currently working. All we now need to do is do the stems and find some screws to connect it properly. So now come the keyboard adapters. Wolfgang was nice enough to already print them for me. So you take one off, and it takes a bit of cleaning with your snippers to get rid of all this stuff. Clean them up and basically just jam them in. Right side up. Right, and then it goes on there. Look at that. And that we do 61 times. 66 times. So that's a bit of a tedious job, but yeah. Nobody said it was going to be easy. My fingers are hurting, but first row is done, and look at how pretty. Woo! So happy with this. It looks awesome. But cleaning these off, I think your nails are your best bet, depending on how big that skirt is. But I found and I have a bit of a female manicure going on. That's the things of a guitar player. You want some nails on your picking end. So I can actually pluck them clean very, very quickly. Like so. And then take one of the buttons and jam it in. And this is really, it starts to hurt your fingers after a while. But you just have to muddle through. There we go. And we ram it on there. Because the control is next to it, and that's a bigger one. And these are those wider ones for the wider keys. I think I will do that first, or maybe I would not be able to get to it. But my goodness, this feels unbelievable. This is so good. And there we have it. The last one. That took about 2 hours, I think. But it's so worth it. Look at that. I did end up putting some glue on these posts here because for some reason that didn't remain in, even no matter how hard I pressed. And I would think I need to bend this, heat it up and bend it a little, because every now and then the wire tends to pop out. Except now. There we go. Yeah, if it's so maybe heat it up just a little and bend it. I think I will do that. It's PLA, so it doesn't take too much heat. That way we prevent the wire here. That is the issue. The wire from popping out. So PLA melts at around 60 degrees already. We just heat up a screwdriver and look, it melts it nice down. That way it will conform. The one could still pop out. This one is good, the other one. Yeah. So that will not easily pop out. Ow! And you shouldn't touch where you just heated it up. So there you have it, a mechanical keyboard. And this print types so much better. Oh my goodness, this is so fine. Shift lock, that also works. Look, we have all the weird characters on there. Shift lock back, and we have the numbers. Run. Oh my goodness, this feels so good. So the only thing is that, yeah, the buttons stand a bit proud in comparison to the case, but that's just mechanics. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, aesthetically that's something that I noticed. Like, okay, well. But you get so much more in return. It's so lovely. I'm so happy with this. Ah, this feels so nice. So there you have it. In 4 hours, we created a mechanical keyboard for the Commodore 64 using Wolfgang Kierfdorf's brilliantly modeled 3D printable mounting plate for the keys, the Mac board PCB. Thank you, Wolfgang. Once again, thank you so much for sending the PCB and the components over. It's just brilliant. I think this is the best thing since the Ultimate 2 cartridge. It really brings so much usefulness again to this nice old machine. And here the clickiness, that is what you want. The only two things was, the keys stand a bit proud of the case. That's just because you need these adapters. It is what it is. And it, with one C64 C case, apparently is different. It's the one with the latches. And that one, Wolfgang's mounting plate, doesn't fit in there. That's just what it is. Nobody knows how many different iterations Commodore did on their machines. I didn't know that, to be honest. I thought a C64 C case is always the same. And then I was like, hey, this one has a screw in it, the other one doesn't. So no, they are not. But yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's usable. I love it. It's just incredible. So I loaded up Ghostbusters. I will play some Ghostbusters and see you in the next one. So for 4 hours and €60, it's worth your time and money. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.